Awesome. Well, welcome back, guys. We're really excited to kind of bring this thing home for you. We talked about really creating your brand, right? We talked about how to generate leads. We talked about what to say and how to say it, how to convert them from building rapport and relationships to funneling them into the group, adding, tagging, messaging them to the various different groups. Now the next part is probably the most important because you're going to create a huge funnel with a lot of leads coming in. I've been doing this literally in the last less than 30 days. I've got over 75 people that I've ad tagged and messaged. Like, things are cranking, but now it's time to convert them from a lead to a partner, or get them out of the way as far as being interested. So I'm going to screen share here real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm hoping you guys can see this okay. Awesome. So let me kind of explain something to you guys. So we created what's called a peak and pass business model, and there's another training video for that. But really, in a nutshell, what it is, it helps the brand new person get more people engaged, but getting themselves out of the way. Because when people are new in network marketing, they're bad before they're good. And so they're going to slop it up, and you got to get through that as fast as possible. So we created a way where we said, hey, why don't you just get good at piquing people with information? And then once you got someone that says, wow, that's interesting, and they're intrigued, edify your experts, set up a three-way call, and let your leader that has success come in and bring it home for you, where they do the presentations, the answering questions, overcoming objections, enrolling in training. And your job is just to be a really good peaker. So that's really what you're doing through social media marketing at just a much faster pace, a higher touch, and you're getting to more people in a quicker fashion. But once they see the information, now you're going back to your messenger and saying, hey, Mike, I know I added you to the product group or the business group. Did everything make sense, right? You're going to find out where their interest is. And they might have questions. So here's, as a new person, what you want to do is get yourself out of the way. So instead of doing a three-way call, what we do is a three-way chat, because our whole goal is to build online, make a living, travel the world, work from anywhere around the world. What I showed you today and finishing today is how to build a business 1 hour a day. And the last video I do for you here is we'll actually share with you my daily method of operation of schedule that I do, to where if you're a 9-to-5er, you got kids, you got sporting events, you got to make dinner, you got to do laundry, we can show you how to build a side business 1 hour a day, and within 5 or 6 months, get in a position where you could replace your income with what you just saw, okay? So to set up the three-way call, it works real simple. First thing you need to do is message, your prospect before you set up the chat, and let them know you're going to set up the three-way chat. But then what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, Mike, I'm glad you like what you saw. I'm working with some pretty incredible people. I want to introduce you to a couple of them so you can hear their story and they can answer some of your questions, since I'm pretty new at it. Hang on, I will set up the call. That's what you're going to do. And then literally, to set up the chat, you're going to create a group between the upline and the new prospect, which is awesome. So Mark is the upline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, so now I add Mike and Mark to a group message. This is where I introduce them, okay? And I'm going to say, hey, Mark, this is Mike, my prospect. He's a great friend of mine. Right now, he's running a fitness business and looking to potentially start a business leveraging Facebook. And then I'll say, hey, Mike, meet Mark. This is my upline. You don't have to say upline or business partner. It's just to give you an example. But he's got a lot of knowledge about the travel business and is a perfect person to answer your questions. As a matter of fact, he's built a multi-million-dollar organization here with World Ventures. He's married, as a new child. He's super down to earth. I just want to connect you. Now, I edified as a new person. I got myself out of the way, and now I'm letting my upline leader help close or enroll my new team member instead of me as a new person having to do it. That is the power of leverage, guys. If you can utilize this system, it's a big deal. Now, when you're the person helping your new people close, you're going to get on there and you're going to build rapport through the voice messenger. And when the time's right, you know in your intuition when it's right. It's a gut check, okay? You're going to start asking questions to find out their interest level. Sometimes people think closing can be overwhelming. So here, I'm going to give you some ideas that we use that we really like for closing, just to find out if there's someone that wants to get started. The first thing, I'll ask someone is, what did you like most about what you saw? The reason I ask they like most is I want to know what they're interested in. And then I'll ask them to tell me more about it, or why do you like that? And they're going to tell me why. And then I'm going to ask them the third question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're ready to go, and 1, you just want to be a customer, where are you? And if they say they're, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's pretty close to getting ready to get started. A lot of times I might ask them if they go, well, I'm a 7. I'll say, that's great. What would it take in your mind to get you to a 10? It's just questions, guys. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So I'll ask them that question, and they might tell me, and then I'll overcome that objection. And so what I'll do is I'll say, are you coachable? Are you ready to get started? Great. Can I tell you what info you're going to need to get started? Grab your credit card. I love the 1 through 10. What are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 meaning you're a customer, 10 you're ready to get started, you're all in, because I can gauge where they're at with our business. So like I said on the other videos, you can download these PDFs, guys. You can print them, you can save them to your desktop. They're in our files tab in our training group. Make sure you guys go through this over and over and over again, because these questions are powerful questions. They're going to get your prospect in the direction where you want them to go. Now, some people might give you some objections. That's okay. Don't get defensive. Questions and objections, are not a bad thing, but you got to have posture, a lot. And I'm not going to read through each one of these objections, but I'm just going to kind of give you some ideas, because you can print a lot of these. You can always handle an objection or question. You can actually defuse it by asking them, like, well, what did you mean by that? So that way you can get them talking more and more and more about. In order to be sure you're absolutely clear on what the objection is about, once they give you an answer, reply back and follow up with, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about reaching your financial goals, your lifestyle goals, your travel goals? Or is it that you're serious about the lifestyle, travel, or financial goals, and you really don't have the money, but, so you can kind of gauge the conversation based upon the objection. So let me kind of give you some information. One disclaimer is, keep it friendly. Never sound like you're accusing or blaming them. You remember, stay humble and kind, right? The kiss there, keep it simple, have fun. So some objections, some of the most popular objections is, I'm very busy, I don't have enough time. And some of the rebuttals you could use is, this really isn't about the time, it's about who they know. So respond with, well, how much time do you have? Because some people think they have to put 8 hours a day into this, and you only have to put 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. Whatever they say, great, that's perfect, that's plenty enough time. Are you ready to get started? Some people might say, I don't have the money to get started. And here's a couple rebuttals. If you don't have the money to start the business, it's probably the exact reason why you need to get started. My mentor taught me that if nothing changes, nothing changes. You don't want to be the same situation 6 months from now, do you? Let's get this thing going. How can we find the money? See, here's what I know. When I was younger growing up, whenever I wanted something bad enough and I didn't have the money, I found a way to get the money. Okay? So understand something. There's a lot of opportunities. Some people need to talk to their spouse. I totally understand that. Is that you're serious? Is it that you're that serious about the business and you really need to run the decision by your spouse, or are you just saying that because you don't really want to tell them you want to get started? Like, you can be humble and kind and address the objections with a smile on your face, of course, okay? And so you can go through these in the PDF. I'm not going to go through all of them. The last thing I want to talk to you about is follow-up. Keep your promises, stay organized, and keep them in the loop. Using these 3 success principles will really help you build this business. Create a relationship, follow up with people. Don't just follow up about business all the time. Follow up and ask how they're doing. Remember, friend first, salesperson second. And if you say you're going to call somebody or email them or message them at a certain time or day, keep that promise. People follow strength, not weakness. They got to know you're serious about the business. And get a planner or a digital calendar to keep track, because I'm telling you, your inbox is going to fill up fast and you're going to be overwhelmed a little bit. But just remember, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so as far as follow-up goes, 24 to 48 hours follow-up. Hey, Mike, where's your head at with this dream trip or world ventures, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, the PDFs are all here with what we do. And here's the thing. If they don't respond on the follow-up, I might say, hey, are you okay? If they still don't respond, I might say, hey, Mike, yeah, you must be busy and I don't want to keep hounding you or wasting your time. I'm going to take you off my list now. Let me know, and then I'll follow back with you maybe in a month or 6 months or a year. Don't act like the cable guy, folks. Just follow up with them 24 to 48 hours. If they don't respond, maybe a couple of days later with the second one, and then the third one, just let them know you're taking them off your list. So that kind of gives you the idea from segueing from once you ATM'd them to get them to a 3-way group chat, to start having your leader or yourself close them, enroll them, handle any objections, and then get them in your business. And then when you sign new people up, make sure you tag them in the Carpe Diem training group, tag them in the pinned post, so then they can learn this information, guys. So really excited to have you a part of this and start using the social media Facebook groups.